I've told you to stay put. Don't test my patience, not tonight. Do as you're told, understand?
He drops the mug the moment she says it, and the sound cracks the room open sharp and final the way gunfire does in old stories. She keeps cleaning like nothing happened, water sloshing, boots still, the word hanging between them. Papa said soft, wrong, too familiar for either of them. He stares at the broken pieces like they accused him of something he did not say, yet he feels it anyway, his throat tight, his jaw locked. She kneels, already towel moving fast, eyes down, as if this is normal for her today or any other quiet morning here alone. Do not say that again, he tells her, voice flat, too quick. She freezes, looks up, sorry, slips out before thought. I was not talking to you, he says, tries a smile, it fails, stays hanging crooked between them like dust caught in light from the small window above sink. She nods one small sharp movement and goes back to work. He watches her hands move steady, then shake, fingers thin, wrists pale under rolled sleeves. He wants to joke, but nothing comes, mouth dry, his eyes burn, but he blinks hard, keeps standing still like he was trained to. You can call me sir, he says, or just my name. She nods again, yes sir, no sir, either is fine, her voice soft, almost careful, like she is walking past something broken. She does not look at him while soap drips slow into the metal sink below them both. The cabin feels wrong, suddenly too quiet, too close. He notices the badge drawer half open like it moved on its own. He shuts it fast, too loud. She flinches, he pretends not to see, his heart thumps slow and heavy, counting years he never named out loud before today. Where are you from, he asks casual. Too late, she answers without pause, nowhere close enough. She keeps scrubbing a dark spot that will not fade. He knows that spot, it comes back even when you swear you cleaned it all the way out of sight, memory and hands both. She hums low, not a tune, just sound his mother used when things hurt. He does not ask about it, he cannot. He stares at her hair tied back, messy, same as hers was years ago, before leaving, without goodbye or explanation worth keeping then or now, here alone again. You should take a break, he says. She shakes her head, no time. He almost laughs, stops himself. The silence grows thick, presses ears. She moves slower now, breath uneven, like she is holding something back that does not want to stay buried where it was put long ago. Wrong. Papa, she whispers again, barely sound. He stiffens, does not turn around, does not correct her. The word lands softer, this time heavier too. He grips the counter until pain steadies him, reminding him he is still here, still standing, still breathing through dust and years he buried wrong, alive. I said do not call me that, he says, weaker now. She nods, yes sir, she answers, but her hands shake more, the rag slipping, water spilling. She catches it fast, keeps working like stopping would mean something worse than shaking in front of him today, alone here now, quiet. He watches her longer than he should, every motion feels familiar, wrong, the way grief repeats itself. He wants to ask her name, he cannot bring himself to break what she did not mean when the word slipped out of her mouth like truth, tired of hiding behind work rules. The floor creaks as she shifts weight, keeps cleaning. He stands still, watching her hands tremble, steady, tremble again. She whispers it once more under breath, Papa, like a habit she never learned to break because no one ever told her it was dangerous to say out loud before now. She repeats the rules back to him before he finishes saying them, her voice low, even calm, like she is reading from memory, not learning anything new. No backroom, no drawers, no questions after sunset, no touching things that are not part of the job. Leave before dark, do not speak to visitors, do not wander past the fence, stay away from the well. He stops talking halfway through because she is already ahead of him, saying each word in the same order, same tone, no pause. She does not look at him while she does it, hands folded, still wet from cleaning, waiting for the next instruction that never comes. That is right, he says finally, and she nods once, yes sir, like a reflex trained long before she stepped into his cabin. He clears his throat, feeling foolish for saying rules out loud he never had to explain to anyone before now. You are paid by the week, he says. She repeats, paid by the week. He adds, cash only. She repeats, cash only. He says, you leave when the work is done. She answers, when the work is done. Neither of them smile. He feels the space between them stretch thin and tight, the cabin walls closing inward, breathing quiet the way houses do when they have heard too much. He shifts weight, steps closer, then stops himself, remembering where power sits and who carries it even when it is not spoken. If you need water, he says, there is a pump. She answers, by the well. He looks at her sharp. She does not react, just keeps standing like she expects the look, expects the test, expects him to see what she already knows. Do not go near it, he says again, firmer this time. She repeats, do not go near it. No tone change, no question. He swallows, reaches for the drawer without opening it, the badge inside heavy like a thought he keeps pushing down. That drawer is off limits, he says. She repeats, the drawer is off limits. He locks it slow, making sure she hears the click. The sound echoes louder than it should, the way locks always do when they carry weight. There is a room in back, he adds, it stays locked. She nods, back room locked. He says, you do not ask why. She answers, do not ask why. Her eyes finally lift, meet his for half a second, then drop again like she gave him something small and took it back. He tells himself this is normal work talk, nothing else, but his chest feels tight like he is listing sins, not rules. He steps away, gives her space the way men like him pretend that fixes things. You keep to yourself, he says. She answers, keep to myself. You do not tell stories, he says. She repeats, you do not stay after dark, he says. She answers, do not stay after dark. Her voice never shakes, but her hands do now, fingers twisting once then still. He notices it, hates himself for noticing, hates more that he keeps going anyway, because stopping would mean asking why. She already knows these rules better than he does. You understand, he says. She answers, I understand, sir. The silence stretches, trained, quiet, the kind learned early, the kind that keeps you alive. He looks past her through the window, sees the well sitting low in the dirt, round, dark, mouth open, waiting like it always has. He feels watched by it, turns back too fast. That is all, he says. She nods again, turns to pick up her bucket, pauses, then looks back at him, slow, careful. Can I ask one thing, she says. He hesitates, then nods once against his better sense. Her voice stays even when she speaks. The question lands heavy and exact. Did she scream like that too? He says nothing. The question hangs between them, sharp, waiting. His mouth opens, closes. The cabin creaks once, like it heard her too. Do not go near the well, he says finally. His voice comes out rough. She nods, almost bored. I know, she says. You do not know, he snaps. She looks at him then, calm, steady. I do, she says again. He turns away, runs a hand over his face. Years ago, he says. Long time. She waits. A woman, he adds. He stops. She fell, he says. That was the word they used. Fell. Into the dark. Into quiet. Nobody saw. Nobody asked. She does not react. Just picks up the rag, kneels, starts scrubbing the floor again. There is no stain, not anymore, but she works like there is. He watches, throat tight. Stop that, he says. It is clean. She keeps going. What was her name, she asks. He shakes his head. Does not matter, he says. She presses harder. It mattered to her, she answers. He flinches. He tells himself the well was closed. Boarded. Filled. He tells himself that is true. But he remembers the sound. Not screaming. Something smaller. Like breath giving up. Like a word swallowed. She hums while she works. Low, slow. A lullaby his mother used when nights went bad. He feels the hair on his arms lift. Where did you learn that, he asks. She shrugs. It was always there. There was blood, he says without meaning to. Not much. She nods. Blood dries dark, she says. Looks like dirt after. She scrubs harder. The rag comes up clean. She keeps scrubbing. You should stop, he says. She does not. You paid me to clean, she answers. He paid to forget. He does not say that. They said it was an accident, he says. They said she slipped. They said no one pushed. He repeats it like it might turn true. She hums louder. You stayed, she says. He nods once. Someone had to. You had power, she says. He laughs once, short. Not then, he says. She looks up. You had silence, she says. He tells her to stop humming. She does not. He says her name without knowing it, a question more than a call. She ignores it. The rag moves in circles. His chest tightens. That song, he says. She answers it keeps children quiet. He asks whose. She says all of them. He feels the cabin tilt. They argued that night, he says. About leaving. About money. About nothing. She would not look at him. She stood by the door. He tells this like facts, not feeling. She hums between his words. He hears water in it. Did you touch her, she asks. No, he says too fast. Did you stop it? She asks. He stays quiet. The humming fills the gap. He says the men came later. They wore smiles. They asked for coffee. They told him what to say. He said it. She presses the rag into the wood until her knuckles go white. It will not come up, she says. He knows she is not talking about the floor. He says the well was covered after. She says it was never sealed. The house learned, she says. Walls listen. He tells her to stop. She keeps working. He feels watched. He hears the echo again. Not sound. Space. He steps back. The silence stretches. He wipes sweat from his neck. She finally stops humming. For one breath. Then starts again softer. He cannot tell if it is mercy. He cannot tell if it is warning. It crawls under his skin and stays there. He does not move. The well waits. Always waiting. In silence. Below. Still. The air feels thick. The cabin feels smaller. He needs space. He steps outside without another word. The sun is high. The well sits where it always has. Dark mouth open. He walks to it before he decides. Behind him, her humming drifts through the door. Soft. Steady. He stands at the edge, peers down. He cannot see the bottom. He never could. Her voice follows him, wrapping around the hole. He does not move. She steps up beside him while he is still talking, still trying to explain the well, the boards, the years. She holds out a folded paper and lets it touch his chest. He stops mid-sentence. What is that? He asks. She does not answer. Just waits. He takes it like it might bite. The paper is old. Soft. Creased from being held too many times and never opened. I found them in the drawer, she says. Which drawer? He asks too fast. She looks at him. The one you never open, she answers. He tries to joke. Guess I got lazy, he says. It falls flat. She does not smile. He unfolds it. His hands shake. He clears his throat. I should not read this, he says. She nods. You should, she replies. He starts anyway. The words come slow, uneven. Her handwriting. Tight. Careful. Asking for help without using the word. He reads it out loud like someone confessing in a small room. You did not have to keep these, she says. He laughs once. Could not bring myself to throw them out, he says. Or read them, she answers. He keeps reading. Another letter. Then another. Each one closer to the end. Each one quieter. She told the sheriff, he says. She did, she replies. He told her to go home, he adds. He did, she says. He said she was trouble, he says. She was, she answers. Trouble for them. He stops. Looks at her. You know a lot, he says. She shrugs. Towns talk, she says. Only when it is safe, he replies. She nods. Safe for men like you. He bristles. That is not fair, he says. She tilts her head. Fair was never part of it, she answers. He reads another letter. This one angry. This one scared. He winces at a line about the Land family, the meeting at the diner, the promise that everything would quiet down. They owned half the valley, he says. They still do, she replies. He says the sheriff owed them. She says everyone did. He says he tried to help. She asks how. He says he stayed. She laughs soft. Staying is not helping, she says. He says he was scared. She asks of what? He says of losing everything. She nods. So was she says. He says he thought silence would pass. She says silence feeds on time. It grows teeth and waits. He lights the stove. Pulls out a match. What are you doing? She asks. He holds up the letter. Finishing it, he says. He strikes the match. The paper catches slow. Burns from the corner in. He reads until the fire reaches his fingers. He drops it into the sink. One by one, he reads them. Apologies. Fear. A plan to leave. A final note written shaky and rushed. He does not joke now. His voice breaks on names he never spoke. The fire eats the words. Ash piles up. The past hisses and curls. You could have stopped it, she says. He does not deny it. You traded quiet for her, she says. He closes his eyes. He traded nothing. He just let it happen. The cabin smells like smoke. He finishes the last letter. The shortest one. Just a name at the bottom. He stares at it. The fire waits. He looks at her. She watches him, steady. He asks why now. She answers because the land remembered. Because silence taught her how to wait. Because truth does not rot when buried. Say it, she says. He swallows. Who? He asks. Her name, she says. He says it. The sound fills the room. The match burns his thumb. He drops the paper. It burns anyway. She steps closer. Her voice is calm. Final. She was my mama, she says. No, he says too fast. The word jumps out before he thinks. No. She does not flinch. Just watches him. He feels foolish saying it again. No, he repeats softer like that changes anything. You are wrong, he says. About me. About that word. She nods once. I know, she says. You tell yourself that. He turns away. Rubs his hands together. This is not how it was, he says. She waits. He keeps talking because silence will eat him alive. She wanted to leave, he says. She was already packing. I tried to help. Help how? She asks. He hesitates. Money, he says. I gave her money. She tilts her head. You paid her, she says. He winces. That is not what I meant. The men paid her, she says. You watched. He shakes his head. It was not like that. It was one night, he says. One mistake. She steps closer. How many men? She asks. He looks down. How many? She asks again. He swallows. 3, he says. She exhales slow. They said she owed them, she says. For staying. For working. For breathing. He nods. The sheriff brought them, he says. They laughed. Said it would make things easier. He says her mother came to him after. Bruised. Quiet. Asked for help. He told her to leave town before it got worse. He thought that was mercy. She listens without blinking. She left because you told her to, she says. He nods. She left because she was scared, she adds. He nods again. She was already pregnant, she says. He freezes. No, he says. She was not. She looks at him steady. Count it, she says. Count the weeks. The room tilts. He does the math without wanting to. His chest tightens. He presses a hand to the table. I did not know, he whispers. She answers, you did not ask. He remembers the funeral after. Not hers. His wife's. A sickness that took her fast. He left town after that. Took the cabin. Took the silence. The timelines fold together ugly and exact. Loss on loss. Running on running. You named me, she says. He looks up. You signed the papers. You put your name where hers should have been. He shakes his head. I did not know what else to do, he says. You kept me alive, she says. Barely. He looks at the floor. You sent money. You stayed away. You kept your distance like it made it clean. She pulls the badge from the drawer and sets it on the table. Slides it toward him. He does not touch it. I never wore it again, he says. She pushes it closer. You still used it, she says. Silence is power too. He slides it back to her. I am done, he says. She does not smile. She picks it up, turns it once in her hand. Heavy, she says. Then sets it down between them. That word, she says. Papa. It was not a mistake. He closes his eyes. He sees her as a child he never met. He hears her crying in places he did not go. He understands what she earned alone. I failed you, he says. She shakes her head. You were never there to fail, she says. They stand in silence. Then she moves. Walks to the table. Sits down slow. Folds her hands. Steady. I did not come for money, she says. I believe you, he whispers, and the moment the words leave his mouth he hates them for how small they sound. She studies him like she is checking for cracks. Say it again, she says. Louder. He swallows. I believe you, he says. The floor creaks under his weight like it is shifting to hear better. Belief is not pity, she says. I know, he answers too fast. She lifts a hand. Do not rush it. He nods. The walls feel closer now. He feels them listening. Ask me what you want, he says. She does not answer right away. The silence presses. The house breathes. Finally she asks, did you ever think about me? He looks down. Yes, he says. When? After, he says. After everything. She nods. Too late is a kind of answer. She walks slowly, fingers brushing the wall. It remembers, she says. He asks what? Everything, she answers. The cabin groans once. He feels sweat on his neck. Growing up, she says, I knew before I knew. He waits. The story was there before words. In how people looked. In how they stopped talking when I walked in. In how my mama cried at night when she thought I was asleep. He listens. Does not interrupt. She keeps going. I asked her once who my father was. She told me a name that was not yours. She told me to forget it. She told me forgetting keeps you safe. Did it? He asks. She shrugs. Depends what you mean by safe. She says the story followed her. School. Work. Men who looked too long. Women who warned her without saying why. She learned when to be quiet. When to leave. When to stay small. He clenches his jaw. I should have been there, he says. She looks at him. You would have made it worse, she says. He does not argue. The house creaks again. A sound from the back. He stiffens. She notices. That room, she says. He nods. He has not opened it in years. He does not say why. Did she ever come here, she asks. No, he says. Did you bring her, she asks. No, he repeats. She studies him. You wanted to, she says. He exhales. Yes. She stops near the door. Her hand hovers, does not touch. I dreamed of this place, she says. He frowns. You have never been here before, he says. She smiles faint. The land teaches children early, she says. Where not to step. What not to ask. She turns back to him. Belief is not words, she says. He knows that. What do you want, he asks. She answers without pause. I want you to say it when others ask. He nods. The sheriff, she says. The family, she says. The ones who still sit high and clean. He nods again. Will you, she asks. He feels the weight of it settle. The badge on the table. The years. The cabin watching. Yes, he says. This time it feels heavier. Better. She breathes out. For the first time she looks tired. Thank you, she says. He wants to reach for her. He does not. The house settles. Then creaks again. Louder. From the back. He looks at the door. She follows his gaze. That room, she says. It is time. He walks to it slow. Each step echoes. He takes the key from around his neck. He has not touched it in years. The metal is cold. Why now, he asks without turning. Because hiding rots things, she says. He nods. He unlocks the back room. The door opens with a sound like breath released. He steps aside. She waits. The cabin holds its silence. The badge sits between them on the table like it chose the spot itself. He does not touch it. She does not either. They both look at it first, not each other. Say it again, she says. What, he asks. What it cost, she answers. He breathes in slow. I stayed quiet, he says. I let them write the story. I let the sheriff file nothing. I let the family pay me to disappear. She nods. Paid how, she asks. Land, he says. This place. Protection. Time. She nods again. And her, she says. He shakes his head. Nothing for her. He speaks like he is reading a report. Dates. Names. Meetings at the diner. Coffee cups. Jokes made too loud. He says who knocked. Who watched. Who signed. He does not soften it. He does not defend it. I thought I was surviving, he says. I was choosing myself. She listens without interrupting. You never filed, she says. No. You never testified. No. You never spoke her name. No. The house creaks once, low. He glances at the walls. She does not. I know what that badge meant, she says. I saw how men stood when you wore it. I saw how they laughed when you took it off. He nods. It was easier without it, he says. Easier to disappear. She answers it was harder for everyone else. She reaches for the badge now. Turns it once. Heavy, he says. She shakes her head. It is not heavy, she says. Silence is heavier. He feels the truth of it settle. I let them keep power, he says. I told myself it was over. It was never over. She asks why he never left. He answers because leaving felt like confession. Because staying felt like penance. Neither helped. You do not get forgiveness, she says. He nods. I know. She does not raise her voice. Does not accuse. Her calm is sharper than anger. He feels it cut clean. You will speak, she says. When asked. When not asked. You will say her name. You will say mine. Yes, he says. You will not hide behind grief, she adds. He swallows. Yes. She pushes the badge toward herself. He lets it go. The sound of metal on wood is small but final. I carried this story alone, she says. I am done carrying it for you. He watches her stand. Straight. Steady. Not shaking now. The power in the room shifts without noise. She slips the badge into her apron pocket like it belongs there. Like it always should have. I am not angry, she says. He looks up surprised. I am finished asking, she adds. She walks to the door. Opens it. Light spills in. The cabin exhales. Outside, the well sits quiet. She steps past it without looking. He stays at the table. The space where the badge was feels lighter. She walks out into the day. The cabin door closes behind them and the sound feels final, like a line drawn. You ready? She asks. He nods. They walk together toward the well. Dirt crunches under boots. Wind moves low through grass. No birds. No signs. Just the well waiting where it always has. He stops a few steps back. You can stay there, he says. She shakes her head. No, she says. We stand together. They do. Side by side. The mouth of the well dark and open. Nothing moves. Nothing rises. You expected something, she says. He does not answer. A sound, maybe, she adds. A voice. A sign. He exhales. Yes, he says. She nods. Me too. That is the worst part, she says. That nothing comes back. He feels the truth of it sink in. The land does not scream. It does not accuse. It just holds. Why did you call me that? He asks finally. Papa. She does not answer right away. Watches the dark. Then she speaks. It was never love, she says. He stiffens but does not interrupt. It was lineage. Truth. Blood does not ask permission. He swallows. You hated me, he says. She shakes her head. No. Hate needs energy. I carried facts. She tells him she needed him to hear it out loud. Needed him to feel it land. Needed the word to crack the last wall he built. It was not kindness. It was accuracy. You earned it, she says. Not by care. By absence. He nods. Each word hits slower now. He feels older standing here than he ever did alone. Men like you think time erases things, she says. It does not. It just waits for bodies to age out of lies. He asks if she is afraid. She shrugs. Fear needs mystery, she says. This is history. They stand in silence. The well gives nothing back. No echo. No sound. The land remembers without showing it. My mama said the land keeps count, she says. Of footsteps. Of weight. Of what sinks and what stays. He asks if she thinks the land will forgive. She answers the land does not forgive. It balances. He feels his knees weaken. The years press down. The silence of men. The trades. The quiet agreements. She looks at him. You are not the first, she says. You will not be the last. The land eats secret slow. He asks what happens now. She answers you live with it spoken. That is all, he says. That is everything, she replies. He steps closer to the edge. Looks down. Still nothing. Just dark. Just depth. I thought something would happen, he whispers. She answers it already did. The weight becomes too much. He drops to his knees in the dirt. Hands shaking. Head bowed. She does not touch him. She stands steady beside him. The land stays quiet. Say it like this, she tells him. Do not soften it. Do not hide. Say what happened. He nods once. His knees still in the dirt. His voice unsteady. Tell me the words, he says. You say her name, she answers. You say what they did. You say what you allowed. You say who you are to me. He breathes in. The air feels thick. He opens his mouth. Stops. She waits. Again, she says. Her name, he starts, then freezes. He has never said it aloud. Not here. Not anywhere. The land feels close. Say it, she says. He says it. The name lands heavy. It sounds older than him. True or? The well does not answer. Say what happened, she says. They took her, he says. They used power. They said it was payment. They said it would end things. I watched. Say what you did, she says. I stayed quiet, he says. I took land. I took silence. I told myself it was over. Say who you are, she says. He swallows. I am the man who let it happen, he says. I am the man who signed papers and walked away. She nods. Keep going. I am your father, he says, and the word breaks in his mouth. He looks up fast. She raises a hand. Not yet, she says. Say what kind. He exhales. I am the one who was absent, he says. The one who chose himself. The one who let you grow up with ghosts. She listens. Does not rush him. The moment stretches like a held breath. Say it clean, she says. I failed you, he says. I failed her. She nods once. That is closer. They stand there while the land holds the words. No wind. No sound. Just wait. Now we finish it, she says. He asks how. We seal it, she answers. Not hide it. Not bury it again. They work together. Stones. Boards. Dirt. No ceremony. No prayers. The well fills slow. The dark disappears inch by inch. He wants to stop. She does not let him. Keep going, she says. This is part of it. When it is done, the opening is gone. Not erased. Marked. A scar instead of a mouth. He steps back. His hands shake. Say it again, she says. Her name, he says. Clear this time. Steady. Say mine, she says. He looks at her. Hesitates. Say it, she repeats. He starts to speak. Papa, he says without thinking. She steps closer. Her voice gentle now. Exact. Not Papa, she says. Say my name. He says her name correctly this time, and the sound settles in the room like dust after work. She nods once. That is enough, she says. He answers okay. She turns back to the cabin. Picks up the bucket. Goes to the sink. Water runs. She wipes the counter, the table, the stove. Slow. Careful. He stays by the door. Says nothing. He knows better now. You do not have to finish, he says. She does not look at him. I do, she replies. She opens the back room. Air moves. She cleans what waited there. Shelves. Floor. The small window. She carries out old boxes. Sets them aside. Keeps what matters. Burns the rest in the stove until the fire dies down to coals. No smoke. No rush. He watches. The house feels lighter with each thing removed. The walls stop creaking. The floor goes quiet. Memory loosens its grip without leaving. She wipes the drawer where the badge once lay. It is empty now. Good, she says. He nods. You will bury it, she says. Tonight. He answers yes. She believes him because belief has rules now. She steps outside. He follows. She smooths the dirt where the well was sealed. Sets a stone flat. Marks it. Not hidden. Done. Back inside, she rinses the rag. Hangs it to dry. The fire is out. She turns the stove off. She sets the bucket down. The cabin is clean. They stand. The space between them is ordinary again. No ceremony. No tears. I am leaving before dark, she says. He nods. Safe road, he says. She answers it always is. He wants to say more. Sorry. Thank you. Anything. He does not. Words have cost enough. She takes off the apron. Folds it. Sets it on the table. Keeps the badge in the pocket until the door. Then she pulls it out. Holds it once. Looks at it. Walks to the marked ground outside. Digs with her heel. Places it in. Covers it. Presses the dirt flat. He watches from the doorway. Does not step in. The badge disappears. The land accepts it without sound. She comes back. Stands in the doorway. Looks around. Nothing left undone, she says. He agrees. Take care, he says. She meets his eyes. You too, she replies. She leaves. The door closes. The cabin stays empty. He stands alone with the truth and no forgiveness to hide behind. He sits at the table a while. Listens to nothing. Counts breaths. The cabin does not answer. He opens a window. Light enters. Dust lifts then settles. He walks room to room. Touches the wall. The chair. The sink. Nothing pushes back. He nods to himself. Outside, her steps fade. A truck door shuts far off. The sound travels and stops. He does not follow. He digs a deeper hole. Moves soil slow. Places the badge lower. Covers it firm. He pats the ground flat again. Says her name once more. Says her mother's name too. The land takes both. He returns inside. Puts away the last cloth. Turns off the light. Locks the door. Sets the key on the hook. He does not wear it. Night comes. He sits on the porch until stars appear. He breathes easier. He does not feel forgiven. He feels finished. In the quiet, he understands what she left behind. Work done. Truth spoken. Space to live without lies. The cabin stays empty. Honest. He thinks of the rule she set. Speak when asked. Speak when not. He plans it. Names ready. Dates ready. He will not soften. He washes his hands. The water runs clear. He dries them. Turns the tap off tight. He lies down. Sleeps a little. Wakes before dawn. The cabin holds steady. Morning comes. He makes coffee. The mug does not fall. He opens the door. Steps outside. Looks at the mark. Nods. Walks back in. The day begins. He writes notes. Plain. Exact. Folds them. Puts them in his pocket. He waits. He will speak. He will not ask for mercy. He will not hide. The truth sits. Heavy. Useful. He carries it. Nothing else is owed. Nothing else is taken. The cabin stays quiet. He breathes. He stands. He begins. The end is not loud. It is exact. It holds. He accepts the weight and keeps moving forward without excuse or cover. That is what remains. Nothing forgiven. Everything named. He lives with it. Day after day. Still standing. Quietly now. Here. Alone.